watch what Donald Trump says about religion in America.
This Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America and to make America great again is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, just like our country is going to come back strong.
That was a clip from a video Donald Trump posted to his Truth Social account back in March. And now that he has been elected President of the United States, his words are more relevant than ever. Because Bible prophecy does indicate that religion will come back strong in the United States, but it may not be how you expect. The United States is symbolized in Revelation chapter 13, verse 11, stating, "Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon." A beast in Bible prophecy symbolizes a political power. For example, speaking of another beast power, Daniel chapter 7 verse 23 tells us, "The 4th beast shall be a 4th kingdom on the earth, which shall be different from all other kingdoms." A kingdom is a political power, and notice that the beast in Revelation chapter 13 is described as lamb-like because it has 2 horns like a lamb. A lamb is a symbol for Jesus in the Bible. John chapter 1 verse 29 tells us, "The next day John saw Jesus coming toward him and said, 'Behold, the Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world.'" So this political power Revelation chapter 13 is talking about has a Christ-like appearance. And that corresponds to the United States because America was founded on Christian values, as Donald Trump himself admits.
Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that foundation is under attack, perhaps as never before.
Many of the founding fathers, while holding diverse personal beliefs, were influenced by Christian teachings. Values like equality, liberty, and justice align with biblical principles. For instance, the belief that all people are created equal reflects Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, which says, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them." This indicates that every human being, regardless of gender, shares a common dignity and worth because they reflect God's image. Also, many of the original 13 colonies of the United States were established as religious safe havens. An online post entitled "Religion and the Founding of the American Republic" by the Library of Congress states, "Many of the British North American colonies that eventually formed the United States of America were settled in the 17th century by men and women who, in the face of European persecution, refused to compromise passionately held religious convictions and fled Europe. The New England colonies, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Maryland were conceived and established as plantations of religion. Some settlers who arrived in these areas came for secular motives, to catch fish, as one New Englander put it. But the great majority left Europe to worship God in the way they believed to be correct. And foundational documents like the Declaration of Independence reference a creator and inherent human rights, stating, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." With that being said, though, the Founding Fathers were adamant about keeping church and state separate. The First Amendment of the Constitution states, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof." The Founding Fathers were aware of the religious persecution that plagued Europe, and they did not want a repeat of that in the United States, and that was part of their inspiration for the First Amendment. However, Revelation tells us that America, even though it started out as a Christian nation, would ultimately speak as a dragon. The dragon is identified as Satan in Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, stating, "So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Therefore, America is going to repudiate its Christian values. More specifically, religious liberty will be restricted and false worship will be enforced. Revelation chapter 13 verse 12 tells us, "And he," that is the lamb-like beast, "exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence." This is in reference to the leopard-like beast at the beginning of the chapter. "And causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." Jumping down to verses 16 and 17, it says, "He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." I wanted to include this because many people think the mark of the beast is something literal, like a tattoo or an RFID chip or even a vaccine. But Revelation makes it clear that the mark of the beast is over worship. Those who worship the beast receive his mark. So the mark of the beast is symbolic, not literal. And what's concerning is we have some Republicans, especially the Christian nationalist movement, calling for just that. They want the wall of separation between church and state to come down and the government to fulfill the dictates of the church.
There are candidates embracing the idea that whatever the First Amendment actually says about the free exercise or establishment of religion, that this wall between church and state should actually come down. And not only that, these folks argue the wall was actually never supposed to be there in the first place. In fact, here's Lauren Boebert. She's a freshman member of Congress from Colorado. She was speaking this summer to congregants. Here's what she said.
The church is supposed to direct the government. The government is not supposed to direct the church. That is not how our founding fathers intended it. And I'm tired of this separation of church and state junk.
She's not alone. The Republican candidate for governor in Pennsylvania, the nation's fifth most populous state, said this to his supporters.
So much for this myth of separation of church and state.
That's right. And that's the same position that Michael Peroutka, the Republican nominee for Maryland Attorney General, it's a position he's taken since at least 2014 when he called the separation of church and state, quote, the great lie. And he added, there can be no separation of God from government because he, capital H there, created it. That would have been news to the founders, especially Thomas Jefferson, who was the first of the founders to use the phrase, the wall of separation metaphor, to describe the First Amendment's religious freedom protections. Other Republicans, though, are openly embracing Christian nationalism.
We need to be the party of nationalism, and I'm a Christian and I say it proudly. We should be Christian nationalists.
If Christian nationalists get their way, they will plunge us right back into the Dark Ages.
Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country, and I truly believe that we need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's one of the biggest problems we have. That's why our country is going haywire. We've lost religion in our country.
It's true that religion is declining in the United States. Numerous studies indicate this. For example, an online post entitled "Christianity is on the Decline in the U.S." by dailycost.com states, studies done along the lines of demography and sociology have drawn attention to the decline in church membership and participation in religious services. Fewer people are identifying with a Christian tradition, and many no longer participate in religious activities of any sort. Additionally, a rising number of people report that they simply no longer subscribe to the tenets of Christianity. But at the same time, it's not the government's responsibility to revive Christianity in America. It's the church's responsibility. Governments have a poor track record when it comes to endorsing religion. For example, during the Middle Ages, The Catholic Church formed alliances with various European governments to enforce its doctrines, often leading to the persecution of those who held differing beliefs. Similarly, the Anglican Church's union with the English government during the Reformation era also resulted in the suppression of other faiths. In both cases, these church-state unions used political power to impose religious conformity with devastating consequences for religious freedom. Millions of people suffered for their faith, with many enduring imprisonment, torture, and even death for refusing to conform to state-mandated religion. And this is going to happen again, unfortunately. The worst is yet to come. Speaking of the time just before his return, Jesus said in Matthew chapter 24, verse 21, "For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be." But the good news is the best is yet to come too, because after the tribulation of the last days, Jesus will return. I like how Matthew chapter 24, verses 30 to 31 puts it. "Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other."
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book.
This clip was part of a video where Donald Trump promoted a Bible for sale. And since we're on the subject of Bibles, if you're looking for a new Bible for yourself or maybe as a gift for someone else this holiday season, then I highly recommend the Ultimate Prophecy Study Bible from Amazing Facts. This Bible is packed with in-depth study guides, historical insights, charts, maps, answers to difficult Bible texts, and much more. Click on the link in the video description to learn more about the Ultimate Prophecy Study Bible and order yours today. Donald Trump promoting Christianity is concerning. The First Amendment prohibits the government from endorsing religion, and Donald Trump is the highest government official. He has been elected as the next president of the United States. And what's even more concerning is Christian nationalism openly calling for the removal of the separation of church and state. This is bringing us closer to the fulfillment of the mark of the beast, when religious liberty will be restricted in the United States and people will be forced to worship in a way contrary to Scripture. I know I didn't go into much detail about what the mark of the beast is specifically in this video because I already have other videos that address this issue. So if you'd like to learn exactly what the mark of the beast is, click on the screen to watch my video entitled, "Have You Already Been Marked by the Beast?" Thank you for watching, and God bless you.